farmers and ranchers show they are Nebraska strong. The damage to crops and cattle could top $1 billion. We'll have a closer look on a special episode of Grow.
But this is going to save my cows.
And strangers drop a lifeline to farmers with cattle stranded by the floods. Catch this remarkable story as we highlight how Nebraskans rally together as we grow. Welcome to Grow. Over the next half hour, we will highlight how farmers and ranchers are Nebraska strong. Rural communities come together to begin the long recovery. As the president declares a disaster, the toll continues to mount. Crop and livestock losses could top $1 billion, not to mention the strain on relationships and health. Yet through it all, we hear stories of neighbors helping neighbors. Farming takes faith that the seeds planted will yield. And while this may be put to the test, we want to put a lens to those who are growing stronger together. The Nebraska Department of Agriculture ramps up efforts to assist farmers and ranchers. They say producers impacted by flooding and the blizzards now need hay, feed, fencing materials, equipment, and help. If you need anything or have supplies to give, you're asked to call the number on your screen. Other resources can be found online at nda.nebraska.gov/resources. And the state ag director says that help keeps coming.
The requests that we have received here have been outweighed by offers of offerings to help either bring supplies in, feed supplies, or offer to do labor. It's probably 1/3 of our phone calls have been asking for a need, have a request for need, and 2/3 of the phone calls have been offers to provide assistance of some sort.
Cut off from the world, Nebraska farmers ravaged by floods find help coming from unexpected places. Even airlifts of hay. We were there catching this amazing sight. Here's more from Nance County. Soaring skyward, bales of alfalfa bring a smile to Pat Pfeiffer's face. His eyes light up as he shades them from the sun that brings relief for Nebraska's flood-ravaged farmers.
Overwhelming.
Brought to his knees.
We got so many calls for help.
But no one could get to his farm.
But this is going to save my cows.
25 longhorns.
And they're getting hungry.
Farmers 100 miles away donated hay, relayed another 100 miles down the road by a guy with a background in moving furniture, not feed.
This guy that's hauling the hay, he's just a regular guy, and he took 2 weeks off from his company just to haul hay.
Finally to a neighbor's farm, where a thumbs up sends the next bundle to the Pfeiffer's cattle.
They're on an island on the other side of the water.
A helicopter crew surveying broken levees dropped a lifeline.
Oh, we made a special hook on our long lines for the helicopter, and we can hook these hay bales and take them over to cattle.
In a county where cattle outnumber people 10 to 1, it's nearly impossible to get to some farms. As Pat comes to the realization, he now lives on an island.
I guess it is. It's surrounded by water all the way around. We can get out by boat if we have to.
But that's the only way.
Yeah.
Unable to get to by tractor, they're using boat.
County Supervisor Darren Nelson navigates washed-out roads to meet a farm family he's known since he was young. Farmers have already weathered an economic storm from low prices and the trade war. And this may be the last straw for some.
Well, I'm sure there will be a few people that decide to say we've had enough. The last couple of years have been challenging, but we in agriculture always have the attitude that next year will be better.
Spirits take flight with each bale. It's been said farmers would sooner starve themselves than their cattle.
At least then the cows got something to eat.
Finally on dry ground.
This is the first Pat and I have been off our island since last Wednesday.
Pat and Shirley look to the horizon.
Thank you to everyone that's helped us. We really appreciate it.
their cattle fed, this farm family now can think about their needs as the final bale sails against the sun. And citizen soldiers from right here in the Tri-Cities join that effort. A Grand Island-based Chinook unit loaded round bales of hay and delivered them to the Columbus area. A spokesman for the Guard says they delivered hay on the ground in the 70s, but you'd have to go back 70 years to see another effort like this. The National Guard reports they found cattle completely isolated due to that catastrophic and historic flooding. And the National Guard continues to deploy people and sandbags where needed. Hay continues to come in from all over the country. Abby Taylor from our sister station in Sioux City, Iowa, has more.
Several farmers across the state of Nebraska were affected by flooding, leaving them with nothing.
Kind of one of them once-in-a-lifetime floods, but it seems like it's been flooding more than a lifetime lately.
Leaving their crops underwater, equipment destroyed, and even killing their livestock.
A lot of them ranchers ain't got any hay right now, and there's cows stranded on islands out there, and it's just horrible.
The Eager Beavers 4-H Club of Alcester and Akron farmer Rick Hughes are coordinating with South Dakota High Plains Fire Relief and hosting a hay drive.
Behind me we got some cornstalk bales that we're donating to the farmers in Nebraska, and fencing equipment and supplies, wire and steel post, and maybe some cow stock tanks. And
Farmer Rick Hughes says he can only imagine what they're going through and the money they've lost.
A lot, over into the billions, I think, for animals and livestock and feed, and grain bins full of corn and beans that are just damaged, and it's going to be a pretty good loss.
They're accepting donations for the next couple of weeks. And if you're interested in helping, you can contact Hughes or the 4-H Club. If you're unable to donate items, they're accepting money donations through a special account.
Farming's a kind of a helping community, and I mean, one part of the state gets bad, the other part of the state's good. I mean, they just kind of share the stuff.
In Akron, Iowa, Abby Taylor, Siouxland News.
Vice President Mike Pence visiting Nebraska this week, joined by the governor and Senator Ben Sasse. Senator Sasse stepped aside for a moment to share you a message that will make you proud to be a Nebraskan.
I don't know if you all can hear that, but they're saying that they were stranded since Thursday, this family that was just rescued, and they were okay. They were going to be fine, so they didn't need to be evacuated immediately, so they let other people get evacuated. But somebody on airboats kept bringing in pizzas for them.
This decade, we've seen flash floods and flash droughts, extreme heat and extreme cold. Do you think our weather has become more extreme, or has it always been this way? And on our question of the week, our audience is split with a nearly 50-50 vote on the question. We've talked about the livestock losses, but moving forward, do you anticipate delays getting this year's crop in the ground? How much of an impact? Mild, moderate, or severe? Follow GROW on Twitter to cast your vote. Next, we see how folks can help Nebraska farm and ranch families, and later we pay tribute to that Nebraska strong spirit.